I see these young guys come off the street and I just see how hard what they've been through.
We field phone calls every now and then where we're hearing from referral partners saying that I've got a veteran who's sleeping in their car. That's it, and they have been for 2 or 3 weeks, or in some cases maybe even months.
Each year, nearly 6,000 contemporary veterans experience homelessness, many others sleeping rough or from couch to couch, and that number is steadily growing.
I'm called a crew commander. The driver, he was one of the first national servicemen to go over to Vietnam.
Alan Murphy spent over 500 days across 2 tours in Vietnam. Today, he lives in assisted housing among dozens of former veterans. He and his now close friend Dave Hughes help others who, like them, fell on harder times.
When I started surfing couches, staying at friends' place, family, I ended up sleeping on creek beds for, nearly a year.
For many, transitioning back into civilian life can be the biggest obstacle. Chris Gray served for 27 years in the service and sees firsthand the difficulties ex-servicemen and women face each day.
Because of their training, the way that they treat their mates and the way that they've, I guess, gone through that military career, it's like, no, I'm good, I need to look after you guys, or I can look after someone else. Whereas, in some cases, they're the ones that really do need that support.
Keith Walsh spent nearly 5 years homeless, most nights sleeping in his car.
You've gone from having support, unlimited support, to you've got to fend for yourself.
Eventually putting up his hand for help, seeking out services offered to veterans.
If it wasn't for Vasey, I reckon I'd be dead now. It's given me a purpose to go on.
Vasey RSL is a leading provider in ex-service housing, but is finding a gap in resources for individuals leaving the ADF, who are not only in need of emergency housing, but equally assistance in returning to civilian life.
There are lots of services, but we are talking about a home and the services.
The charity is now hoping to build an industry-first wraparound service in Melbourne's northern suburb of Ivanhoe.
We're going to put the roof over their head, get them settled in, get them off the street, and then we will assist them with whatever they need to get to the stage where they could live independently.
It's a solution younger veterans like Damon Valentine are desperately calling out for. The former Army private suffers from severe PTSD and says the exiting process from the military needs to be reformed.
And anyone in every state to do this sort of work, and hopefully this can be the first of what will be at least 7, 8, 9.
For a force that prides itself on remembering those that have spent time on the streets feel as though they've been forgotten. The Albanese government is pledging tens of millions of dollars to addressing this issue, but says it's the opposition that's standing in the way.
We are establishing our $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, and from that there will be a $30 million program specifically for veteran homelessness, but that whole program is currently at risk because the opposition is opposing the establishment of that fund.
The coalition disagrees, alluding to Anthony Albanese's decision to move the Veteran Affairs Ministry out of Cabinet.
$6 million of new money, borrowed money, is not where the problem lies. The problem lies in the fact that we don't have a minister that has the capacity to have a direct line of sight in the Cabinet room to the Prime Minister of Australia.
And while the future of the fund rests in the hands of those in Canberra, veterans say they need assistance now.
Every little bit helps. If you're struggling, you get a feed here, you can get medical attention here, you could just have someone to talk to.
One day I was a soldier, next day I was a civilian. All I had was a piece of paper saying discharge certificate, and that was it. Listening to people, that has changed a bit, but I think it has to change a lot more.